Edition of Newsnight. Barbados feeling the effects of Tropical Storm Dorian. A last-minute rush for supplies as Barbadians prepared for the storm. Fisherfolk heeding the warnings to secure their vessels. And a not-so-usual response to the tropical storm warnings.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
A very good night to you. Barbados remained on high alert today with heightened preparations for Tropical Storm Dorian. Officials encouraged all residents to take the system seriously as it appears on course to seriously impact the island. Well, the CBC has been providing coverage from 4 this afternoon, keeping viewers up to date on what's been happening. In this special edition of Newsnight, we'll take you through some of what occurred today and what could be expected tomorrow. We start with the latest on the storm with meteorologist Wayne McGarry. He is in the news center. Wayne, what's the latest you can tell us with Tropical Storm Dorian?
Good night, Lisa, and good night to our viewers. Again, the latest location is at 5 p.m., and that is 12.7 degrees north, 58.8 degrees west, or about 60 miles to the southeast of Barbados. Now, maximum sustained winds remain at 60 miles per hour. System is moving west-northwestward at 14 miles per hour. Now, the center of the system initially was expected to pass a little further south of the island. Chances are we're seeing now that the center of the system will pass just over the south of the island, potentially why we have not seen the stronger winds as yet. But once that center has passed, then we will see an increase in wind speeds tonight into tomorrow. But we're also monitoring an area here of some intense convection, or what we consider some heavy showers, thunderstorms, that is making its way to the island. So there's the potential for a deterioration in conditions in terms of some heavier showers, thunderstorm activity a little later tonight, maybe potentially in another hour or so. So we'll continue to monitor that. And also the Hurricane Hunter at 7 p.m. now, currently they're visiting the center of the system, so we'll get an update of what's happening in terms of the structure and potential for intensification or weakening of the system. So I'll give you a further update a little later at 8 p.m. when we have the update on the system.
Thank you very much, Wayne. We'll keep watching a Tropical Storm Dorian, and we'll wait on you for that update. Barbados' response to Tropical Storm Dorian is being coordinated by the Department of Emergency Management. Ryan Broom and our cameraman Patrick Murray are stationed at the DEM's Warrens headquarters, where the heads of most of the island's agencies are stationed, tracking the happenings on the ground across the island. Now, Ryan Broom joins us live now. Ryan, can you tell us what time did the operations stand up there and what's been happening since then?
Hi, good evening, Lisa. Well, I guess as some viewers would have seen a short while ago, the acting education minister, Senator Lucille Moe, and the chief education officer, Karen Best, would have given an update on something pretty significant in terms of the shelters around the island. They would have indicated that we actually have a record number of people in the shelters tonight, more than 50 people, which is something that, as Ms. Best said, she's never seen before. And it seems to be an indication that Barbadians are taking this storm, Tropical Storm Dorian, very seriously, as we've seen already, even by the way that they've responded, going to the supermarkets, the gas stations, the hardware stores throughout the day. And it has been a hive of activity here at the DEM today as well. All of the emergency services responding, whether that is police, defense force, fire, and even the water authority playing its part to make sure that Barbadians who are already affected before this system came by outages and so on, that they were able to get water. And and as the chief would have also mentioned, they've ensured that the people who are at the shelters are getting the necessary care that they need throughout the night. As conditions start to deteriorate a little bit, we can actually see here at the DEM outside right now, the rain is starting to pick up. I know in some parts of the country, in St. Philip, etc., we have seen some deterioration as well in terms of the weather there. Lisa?
Thank you very much, Ryan. We also talked about, in addition to Senator Moore and Mrs. Best, who are some of the other people at the DEM, and have you been speaking with them at all?
Well, Lisa, I do have with me now Mr. Rudy Grant from the BHTA, just to give an update on what's happening in terms of the tourism side of things. Of course, we've had some flight cancellations throughout the day because of the airport closure, and there's some flight diversions as well. And I'm going to turn over to him now to give us an update on what has been happening throughout the day on that side of things. Good evening, Senator Grant.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me. I can report that at this time, things are pretty settled. All of our visitors certainly staying at BHTA member properties are properly accounted for. No major issues reported at this time. And we are very confident that, things will go in a positive kind of way. What is happening is that we do have representation at the Tourism Emergency Operations Center, and what we are doing is to constantly relate with our hotel members to get any updates, any issues, any challenges that they have. And of course, I'm here at the National Emergency Operations Center to relate as well with any issues or challenges which we may have.
So, Senator Grant, no issues throughout the day in terms of, from the visitors' side, in terms of getting things done. I know we would have had a throng on the supermarkets, etc., for supplies and so on, and no issues in that regard?
No, nothing major reported. We did have a situation where there were 2 visitors at the airport, but they were accommodated to their satisfaction. We did have a report that 2 visitors went to LESC, Lloyd Erskine Sandyford, but they were Caribbean visitors, and some Barbadians collected them and took them to their homes. So as far as we are aware, all of our visitors are properly accommodated.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
And so there you have it, Lisa. That is the update from the tourism side. Obviously, there's so many working parts to this tropical storm Dorian in terms of the impacts that it has on the various sectors around the country. Like I said before, we heard from Senator Lucille Moore, the acting education minister, in terms of the shelters, and an indication there that Barbadians have come out to use the shelters tonight. It's back to you in the studio, Lisa.
Thanks very much, Ryan. And after the break, we'll have more news on Barbados' response to Tropical Storm Dorian. We're in preparation mode ahead of the passage of Tropical Storm Dorian. Our Rianne Phillips has more.
From early this morning, Barbadians flocked to many supermarkets to stock up on hurricane supplies.
I'm now going to get a few things from the market, and they have water in place, and I'm all prepared.
What are those few things you're going for?
We're going to get some thin stuff. I already have some at home, and I'm going to get some thin stuff and some bread and some other little items.
I come to pick up my natural stuff, nothing extra, my natural things, because I always have something on hand.
Emerald City in St. Philip was one of the supermarkets of choice.
I think people are taking this storm very seriously, and obvious today we've been experiencing some tremendous shopping, including today. We are happy that we are able to respond to the customer to have everything that they want. The batteries, the canned meats, the torch lights, the water in particular.
At some of the other establishments, people looking for last-minute supplies were left empty-handed and disappointed. That's because some stores just couldn't handle the numbers, so some people were left outside. Snaking lines were also seen at many pharmacies across the island as many tried to collect medication.
We opened at 8 and we were forced to open earlier, about 15 minutes earlier to accommodate everybody else. Mainly repeats, diabetic medication, pressure medication. Some people are coming for asthmatic medication as well because they're concerned about the weather. A lot of inhalers. Most people are coming for allergies as well. So, but most people is pressure and diabetes.
Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
Thanks, Rianne. And while many Barbadians were crowding supermarkets and gas pumps for hours this morning, there were still some who were hard at work in their communities, clearing drains and debris. In his rounds across the island, Shane Jones actually ran into Agriculture Minister Indar Weir in his constituency, getting his hands dirty.
When you're out on the road covering preparation stories, quite often you hit dead ends. And it's because of a dead end we hit while following another potential story that we quite coincidentally stumbled on two men clearing a drain. It's not until we got out of the vehicle here in Union St. Philip that we realized one of them was representative for the area and Agriculture Minister in Darweer. Now, he says after meeting with his constituency mobilization team earlier, the decision was made to get into the flood-prone communities.
What we're seeking to do is, like what Dick is here doing, clear a number of the drains, because we can't rely on government resources only to get all this done. Every year around this time, my mobilization team and I, we will go out and we seek to mitigate as much flooding as possible in the constituency, and at the same time be proactive in putting together teams to respond rapidly in case we have like rooftops that are compromised or palings falling down, which is a common thing in the countryside.
Minister Ware says the work is being done right across St. Philip South.
There's a team in Jenswick currently as I speak that is also clearing the drains over there as well, because they tend to get a lot of flooding as well in certain areas. And wherever possible where we can mitigate this is what we're doing. I'm awaiting another crew now who will go to Bellier, and they would also do a similar thing to what is going on here.
The cleanup is being done by the residents of the constituency. Shane Jones, CBC News.
Thanks, Shane. And there's still more news to come as the country weathers Tropical Storm Dorian. But first, this tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This